Welcome back to the garage, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing some cooling upgrades for the Rc390. While the bike is in bits, I figured this would be a great time to upgrade the fan on the radiator and also install a high pressure cooling cap. So we got the, I'm going to butcher this probably, Spal, I'm guessing it's Spal. This fan comes well recommended by pretty much everybody on every single Rc390 post I've ever seen. They're like, this is the first thing to do because the OEM fans, I think before 2018, have kind of dodgy, lifespan, and also they're a little inefficient. I believe this has a little bit more CFM than the stock unit, and it's a little bit more reliable. The coolant cap raises the pressure to 1.6 bar, so it increases the boiling point of your coolant, therefore, preventing boilover and losing coolant over the overflow tube. So that's an easy install. We'll get to that after we do the fan. Before I mention any of that, let me show a couple of clips of me taking this out of the bike. I'll put a link to that video where I tear pretty much everything off the bike in the upper corner. We're going to pull this shroud off, and it's size 4 hex in 4 little spots. One's right here. There we go. There's that. Got this little guy right here. Ooh. Hi. There we go. There we go. So close. You're so close. You got it. I believe in you. Yeah. Sweet. Let's take the rad off now. These 10s? Yeah. Alright, so that fan connector is right there. It's that one. Right there. Like, next to impossible to get to. Spin it around, push it, and pull out the bottom. Oh my god, I got it. I got it. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at what we have in this box. Wow, that's some no-nonsense packaging. There's nothing in there. We'll just set this aside over here. Now that we got this off, let's pull the stock fan off of the radiator. With just a couple of 10 mils, I think it's held on. Alright, there's the stock unit. They look pretty similar, actually. They look strikingly similar. While this is off, I'm going to go ahead and clean up our radiator since there's just a little bit of garbage on the bottom. I could use just a little bit of a touch-up. Just got some soapy water and some paper towels. I also grabbed a nylon brush just in case any of it's stubborn. And take a look at all that junk that came out of this. It's just a whole bunch of road grime and debris and dirt. So with the stock fan free and clear, I pulled out the little mounting tabs. They just kind of rest in here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the plug off of the old fan and we're going to solder it onto our new fan. Just want to remove some of the sheathing so we can get a nice little slice of these connectors. That seems like plenty to me. And we're just gonna go ahead, cut these. Don't need the fan anymore. We're gonna come in here and strip out these wires. We're going to do the same with the Spal. Just going to relief cut this down a little bit. And we're going to snip this connector off. And now we're going to need to solder our connector back together. So while I'm waiting for my soldering iron to heat up, I pulled out some shrink wrap tubing. I've got one for each connection and then one to kind of hold this kind of wire protector together since I cut it. So we're just going to clean this up real quick, get it looking nice. There we go. So this will go on first because it'll seal up the entire connector after we're done. Probably could have gone much shorter, but actually, yeah, let's cut this. This only needs to be about this long. I'm gonna put this over here. That'll be a nice connector to pull over. And I've got these guys, and they're going to go on each individual wire. Okay, so now we're going to untwist these a little bit. Give them a little mesh, and I'm sure there's somebody screaming at their computer right now telling me that I am soldering incorrectly, the joint won't hold, it'll break, my fan will stop, and I'll die on the side of the road. And you might be right, but this is how I've been soldering for pretty much forever, and I haven't had an issue yet. And I want to get this joint nice and hot. Soldering iron is screaming, and it is quite hot right now. Warm up that joint. Okay, so I slipped these heat shrinks over where I soldered. I'm not going to show you my solders because the internet police will come after me telling me I did it wrong with my absolutely atrocious looking soldering iron here that hasn't been cleaned ever. But trust me, it's not going anywhere. We will never speak of this again. Let's get this heat shrink. Really? Really? I'll get this heat shrink on. Those are done. We slide over our other piece, which will make the connection between the old sheathing and the new stuff. Right about there. See if we got, oh, yep, a little flame. So there's our connector all soldered up. Okay, so I wasn't really happy with how it looked, so I went and I pulled the pins out and I just put one nice long heat shrink over all of that because I had that weird like step towards the end. I think this looks a lot better. To pull the pins out, just take a small screwdriver and lift up the little tabs that are holding the spades in. You can pull them out and you can just slide new heat shrink on. But now that that's set, we do have to take care of this little mount right here because the mounts for the radiator don't have enough thread coming through here for a nut to grab on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a Dremel and we're going to slice this in half. And hopefully shouldn't be too bad. Alright, I got my safety squints on. I don't want any of this hot disc into my eye. That would really suck. Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare. It just kind of liquefies and it doesn't really cut super great. but it was fast. So now we got that cleaned up a bit and enough thread engagement that I feel comfortable with. We're gonna throw some Loctite on them anyway, but yeah. So now it's time to install this on the radiator. And like I said, I'm gonna hit each of these with a little bit of blue Loctite. Don't need a ton. There we go. Fan in place and lock it down. And there we have it, one fully installed Spal fan. Spal, I still don't know what that is. Now for the nice and easy part, getting rid of this 1.4 bar cap. And replacing it with our Helix cap. I really like the way that looks compared to this. Looking great. So just like that, we did some awesome upgrades to the Rc390's cooling system. Got our nice new Helix cap, 1.6 bar, our new Spal fan, which will just be plug and play by the time I get the bike back together. I'll leave links down in the description for these two, as well as anything that I used to put this together. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage, and I'll see you on the next one.